Guys, who would you say is the greatest performer to ever live? If you answered Michael Jackson, you'd be right. This guy's popularity didn't make any sense. He had so much aura, people were fainting at his concerts just from seeing him on stage. And no, I'm not joking. Dude had real life conquerors hockey. This is crazy. We all know, of course, that the great king died and a part of music died with him. But what if I told you that there was a way that he came back? Only when he did, he was a demon. Welcome back to Through Villainous Eyes, the series where I aim to look at the story through the point of view of a particular villain in that story and see whether the rationale for their actions are valid, and also to see if I can make it hilarious. This time starring the final villain of Demon Slayer and the progenitor of all demon kind, Kibutsuji Muzan. But first y'all, before we get into it, like the video, okay? That is incredibly important. Subscribe to the channel for more anime content just like this every week, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. You know what we always say here. Let's get it going. Oh, and make sure you subscribe to me and my boys over at CSY. So, imagine you're Muzan. You were born during Japan's Heian era, and sickly doesn't even begin to describe you. Throughout your childhood, you are in a constant state of sickness, leading to an intense fear of death. And remember this, because this is going to be essentially your central character motivation. You eventually get diagnosed with a disease that is said to claim your life by the age of 20. And of course, you, not wanting to die, ask and look around for a bunch of doctors to see who can help you. One such doctor comes through and treats you with experimental medicine, which seemingly fails. And so you murder the doctor, you know, as one would normally do in that situation. Right after this though, you realize that to some extent, the medicine did work because now you have a reinforced, strengthened body. However, the medicine did come with its downsides. You now have an intense desire to consume human flesh, and sunlight literally burns you to your core. And you didn't even know it, but at this point, you just became the world's first demon. Well, you hate the fact that you can't walk in sunlight, so you get to researching what the hell was in that medicine. That's when you learn about the blue spider lily, a special kind of flower that theoretically should nullify your weakness to sunlight. The only problem is, you have no idea where or when to find it, and you scour the countryside looking for it, but nothing comes up, to your incredible irritation. Get used to that. You're gonna be feeling irritated a lot. Over the next 1,000 years, you get so obsessed with the thought of immortality, true immortality, that you do nothing but search for that damn flower. And as all great leaders do, you come up with a plan. You realize that you can turn other people into demons if you give them your blood, so you start amassing an army by just going and forcefully turning people into demons. The idea being that one of these demons will eventually either A, find the blue spider lily, or B, develop a natural resistance to sunlight, where if you consume them, you'll get that ability for yourself. You ain't the king of pop, but you're the king of demons, and some would say that's arguably better. Now, over the course of your life, you're gonna meet a lot of people and turn a lot of them into demons. You meet this one woman named Tamaya, who is racked with sickness just like you were. When she tells you that she wants to see her children grow up, you turn her into a demon, but you don't tell her about demonification side effects, which leads her to wipe out her entire family. Now she hates you and wants to go against you, but you just simply control her. Oh yeah, did I mention that you can just control anybody that you made into a demon? And so she becomes your servant, at least for a while. And this is also going to become a pattern. You meet people, turn them into a demon, and then when they eventually try to rebel, you force them to work under you anyway. Next, you meet a man by the name of Michikatsu Tsugikuni, a demon slayer possessing the special demon mark. He tells you some about the moon, but you can't understand that because you don't see anything moon-like being generated from his attacks. That's when he tells you that his life is cut short by the fact that he has the mark and he wants to live longer to surpass his brother. And so that's where you, as the good philanthropist that you are, come in and offer to make him a demon. He agrees, and he eventually becomes your number 2 and strongest subordinate, Kokushibo. And as a bonus, you actually are able to see moon sickles that are being generated when he swings his sword now. Y'all, there's something in Demon Slayer that I don't think people talk enough about, and it's that Muzan and the demons must think that every single Demon Slayer is delusional. I mean, they keep saying flame breathing this, thunder breathing that, but like, none of those elements are actually being generated. As far as the demon sees, they're just doing some fancy tricks with their swords. And it's still strong swordplay, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's just swordplay. And this wouldn't be nearly as ludicrous or hilarious if not for the fact that the demons actually do have powers. So imagine being a demon with powers, fighting a delusional meat sack wielding a metal stick, telling you that he's got wind powers when he does not. Nah, because framing it like this is really frying me. Anyway, after you turn Kokushibo, you eventually meet his younger brother, this time a demon slayer saying that he got the power of the sun. Basically, he's the joy boy of the Demon Slayer verse. By this point, you find these bums highly unserious, so you move to kill him like it's nothing. But Joy Boy with a sword retaliates and damn near kills you, leaving you lying stretched out in a pool of your own blood. Just as he's about to kill you, you scatter your body into 1,800 fragments. That ain't stopping Joy Boy with the sword though, and he actually goes and hunts down all of your pieces, or almost all of them. Thankfully, 300 of them are enough to still lump back together, and from that you can regenerate your form. However, that experience low-key gave you PTSD, so you're actually not gonna fight these brothers up close and personal no more. Instead, focusing on developing your army and killing all the sun-powered people. Sun-powered people. At some point later on, you hear that somebody crashed out and killed 67 people. You go to check out the massacre, but you're disappointed to find that it was caused by a human and not a demon. However, the human does have some spice to him, so you allow him to become a demon, turning him into Akaza, aka No Fire Natsu Dragneel. Eventually, you realize that every good anime needs a strong antagonist group, so you go on to develop your own core set of demons, creating the 12 Kizuki, also known as the Demon Espada. In it, you of course include Kokushibo and No Fire Natsu, as well as recruiting a crazy misogynistic cultist, a Kappa with split personality disorder, a literal fish, Spider-Man's abandoned son, Jaden and Willow Smith, aka the Bad Blood siblings, and the conductor of the Hogwarts Express. Then eventually, closer to the modern day, you learn about the Kamado family, who hold the secrets of Hinokami Kagura, a special power derived from the sun-powered people that you used to fear. So you move to kill the family off, injecting them with blood to see if any of them can turn into a demon capable of resisting the sun. But you fail, so you take your leave frustrated. A few years later, you're chilling with your family in Tokyo, just going for a casual evening stroll, when a young crash out who covers his tendencies with kindness pulls up on you and is like, "I know what you did, you offed my family." Your family is of course concerned, because who is this random child just coming up and spouting nonsense? And of course you're just like, "Hey, my bad bro, listen, I don't know who you are, you must have mistaken me for somebody else." However, as you and your family leave, you slash somebody so quick that nobody else besides the kind crash out sees, turning him into a demon on the spot. And as the kind crash out sees you do this, you kind of just turn back sneakily and like, "Yeah, I did it, now what?" I'm not gonna lie, that glance back was devious. Eventually, after Spider-Man's abandoned son is killed, you realize that the lower moons are actually just bums who are bringing down your entire organization, so you move to kill them and just lead the upper moons instead. You meet with the lower moons and swiftly kill them off one by one, but the last one remaining, the Hogwarts Express conductor, he is like, "Yo, you know what, fair enough, you gotta kill me, but damn, did I really love taking out humans while I had the chance." Seeing potential in him, you're like, "Alright, you know what? You alone get one more chance." However, the train conductor was killed, and so you're just like, "Alright, that was the end of that experiment." Later on, No Fire Natsu comes back to the Infinity Crib and reports that he's killed one of the Metal Wielder's strongest members. But I'm not gonna lie, he didn't find out no information about the Blue Spider Lily and let some others get away. You do not care. Then a bit after that, the Bad Blood siblings are killed, and low-key, that was your last straw. You call a meeting with the remaining upper moons, telling them that failure is no longer an option, and that if they're not willing to die for this shit, then they may as well die right now. None of them speak back, because how could they? So you send the Kappa with split personality disorder and the literal fish to the swordsman's village to reduce it to ashes. Later, during their fight, you can sense that the kind crash out's younger sister, who actually did become a demon after you take out the Komodos, actually can resist sunlight. Finally, after 1,000 years, all your hard work is paying off. As you prepare to go for a full frontal assault of the Demon Slayer's hideout, you first grant the Upper Moon 4 rank to Nakime, aka Komurasaki from One Piece, and give her the ability to freely control the Infinity Crib. Then it's finally time. You pull up on the Grandmaster of the Metal Wielders and tell him, "Yo, it's your time, man." He tries to tell you nonsense about how he's related to you and you should care about the human heart and a bunch of other crap that you frankly don't care about. Right as you're about to kill him though, he literally blows up the spot. And when I say literally, I mean very literally. He detonates a massive explosion throughout the palace, taking out himself, his wife, and his 2 children. Of course, you start to regenerate, but you find that it's severely slowed because they laced caltrops within the explosion. Who does that? How sick of a person do you have to be to think of a torture method like that? Yeah, you know what? Just in case the explosives don't work, put some caltrops in it. What? Then at that moment, the sickly drug addict who used to be your forced servant pulls back up on you and rams her arm through your body, stating that she developed a drug that'll turn you back into being a human. Now listen, if it was me, I'd actually take that deal because I've been a demon for over 1,000 years. I'm kind of okay with it now. But what you gotta remember is that Muzan's character is literally defined by his want of immortality. He is so intensely afraid of death that he would rather be a demon forever. Literally everything he's done in the story was precisely for the sole purpose of extending his life. At that moment, the strongest delusional metal wielder, who says that he has the power of rocks, manages to blow your head off with a huge flail. And so everybody thinks that it's a win. You're just like, psych, regeneration. But that's not all, because then all of the strongest demon slayers converge on you and try to jump you and kill you at the same time. They really thought that this was like when the Blackbeard pirates were jumping Whitebeard. But you just smirk as you're like, nah, I'd win. Before having Komurasaki open up the Infinity Crib and pull every single Demon Slayer into it. And for now, since the Demon Slayer trilogy movies are still coming out and therefore your story's not done, that's where we'll leave. Y'all haven't seen all this? Muzan is low-key crazy. He is a character with a singular focus, a singular goal. And God forbid anybody tries to stand in his way of getting that goal, because he will off you with a swiftness. In the context of the verse, he's essentially Aizen if Aizen gave even less of a shit. But y'all, I want to hear from you. What did you think about Muzan's character? Is he actually a good villain despite the fact that Demon Slayer's story is so basic? And what villain would you want to hear me talk about next? Let me know all that and more in the comments. That is the end of the video, y'all, but before we go, like it, subscribe, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. That's gonna be all for me. I'll catch you on the next one, and always remember, one piece, one life. Y'all, I've been recording videos non-stop for the past few days to stock up for winter time, and oh my god, y'all, I'm so tired. Please, subscribe and help me.